All right, good morning. We will call to order the Truckee Meadows Fire Board meeting for July 24th. I probably should put glasses on, then I could read. And we will start this morning with a salute to the flag, and we'd ask Commissioner Lucy if he would please lead us in the salute.
Madam Chair, please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Lucy. And with that, we will ask Madam Clerk to please call the roll.
Marcia Burke-Bigler, Chair.
Here.
Kitty Jung, Vice Chair.
Present.
Bob Lucy. Von Hartong is absent. Jeannie Herman.
Here.
Fire Chief Charles Moore.
Here.
And Assistant District Attorney Paula Pirelli.
Here.
Madam, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Next, Chief, will go to public comment.
Item number 3 is public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the Board of Fire Commissioners' agenda. The district will also hear public comment during individual action items, with comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments are to be made to the Board of Fire Commissioners as a whole. Madam Clerk, is there any public comment?
I actually have 2 on my list here, so I love this. Now that we've got the fire board up on the computer, it's wonderful.
Okay.
So, Ms. Catherine Snediger. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Snediger. I'm a non-person, non-resident, unenfranchised, natural woman, human being. And I found the coolest thing. The state of Nevada has defined persons as an entity, not as a human being, as an entity. And that's because the Congress in 1947 passed a law that said organizations, LLPs, governments, and that are persons. Well, you keep trying to say that a natural person is a human being. And that cannot in any way, shape, or form be true, because the word person is in there. And we already know that a person, in legal terms, is an entity. So natural person is the director of a one-person company. That's what a natural person is. So I just want you to be sure and to remember that when you pass your ordinances, that they apply to persons and not to human beings, of which all of us property owners are. So that means unless you have a pecuniary interest or a financial interest in my property, you have no authority to come there and tell me anything about what I can and can't not do. The only thing I am required to do under the common law, not statutory law, is to cause no harm to anyone or anything. So anytime anybody gets some violation from you guys, it's got to be under common law, and you have to show where the damage is. How was that person damaged so bad that it needed to be discussed somewhere else and damages be paid to make the person whole? We don't have to pay you any stupid fines because we offended you by having a container on a vacant lot where somebody's going to build a house. Oh, that's the crime of the century. And since when does code enforcement get to be the witness and the judge with this new violation program you have set up? And who gave you the authority to do that? Anybody? I can't find it in the statutes. Thank you.
E. Maltman. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Vicki Maltman. I'm a resident of Washoe County. We're here about firefighting this morning, and I have friends that live up in Gerlach. I have friends that live out in the outer areas of Washoe County, north, south, east, and west. It seems to me, although I do applaud the chief and the firefighters that I have come in contact with, that there's an effort on behalf of this commission, the commissioners, and perhaps the fire department to eliminate the safety that these people in these outer regional areas have, because you're eliminating all the volunteers. You want to eliminate even more. I just have a little thing. Now, I realize this was from 2014, but they don't do this assessment all the time, much as the census isn't taken all the time. Firefighting in the U.S. as of 2014, there were around 1,134,400 firefighters serving in 27,198 fire departments nationwide and responding to emergencies from 58,150 fire stations. Of those firefighters, 31%, or 150,000 were career firefighters, and 69%, or 788,250 were volunteers. Throughout my career, I've worked with many volunteers on the fire department, and I must say I've never seen anybody who faltered, who wasn't the first one there. Even when they were at work, they would respond to come and help the people in the community put out their fires. Some of the response times, according to the Federal Firefighting Board or Division, shows what the response time should be from the moment the first alarm is done until they reach the area that they need to reach. And in Washoe County, those numbers are not met on many instances. Thank you for your time.
Next is Mr. Pee Wee Henson. Good morning.
Morning, Pee Wee Henson. I'm kind of here spontaneously after notice last night. We were talking about fire today. And first, I want to say thanks to the chief, firefighters in uniform. I appreciate your work. So my words will reflect nothing of bad, of good. I'll only reflect good things for you guys. I appreciate your work. Thanks for what you do. But here's my beef. I hear there's rumors that open spaces are going to be closed to target shooting because of high fire hazard. I'm cool with that. But you guys best make sure you close it off to everybody else. People walking dogs, people driving cars, bouncing rocks, slinging rubber bands, anything else. Put up a gate, put up a lock, put up a sentry. But you shut it off to shooters, and we pay our taxes too, and we pay a lot of them. Shut it off for everybody else. You want equal justice? Equal justice for everybody. That's all I got. Thanks for your work, Chief. Have a nice day. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Henson. I see no more public comment, so we'll close public comment, bring it back to the board. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 4 is Commissioners and Fire Chiefs announcements. Requests for information, topics for future agendas, and statements relating to items not on the agenda.
Do you have anything, Chief?
I just wanted to mention one more time for the board and for the public, we will not have a Board of Fire Commissioners meeting in August. And it looks like September 18th will be the date for our next Fire Commission meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Lucy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This last couple of days, we have received some serious firestorms and weather events throughout our region through massive thunderstorms that have come up very quickly and very rapidly in the afternoon hours. And where they hit, it's been kind of a last-minute understanding for us, and so we've had to scramble to get that. So first, I want to thank all of the, obviously, Chief and your leadership staff, but the firefighters that have worked diligently, lots of hours to maintain and cover the entire district. It's been very challenging with the resources that we have to make sure that all the fires were extinguished quickly, but also to the stations and those out in my district, in District 2, for also the help during some of the flash flooding that we received. We had firefighters out sandbagging this weekend and helping not only, as they continue to fight fires and address a lot of the damages when it comes to wildfires and being prepared, but they're out there, putting their time and effort into sandbag homes and protect homes from water damage. So once again, thanks for being not just firefighters, but those true first responders and helping out the community. It's a tremendous help to know that we have an asset just like you guys out there every day protecting those citizens. So thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Lucy. Vice Chair Jung.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I would just like to announce that I was at the brand-new Truckee Meadow Fire Protection Station 33 on Saturday. That's on Foothill Road. This was a great event, very well attended, very well organized by our PIO, and lots of little kids, which is always the best. And you have to know, you remember how hot it was on Saturday and humid and smoky and just not a lovely day? Mrs. Chief, the chief's wife, dressed up in the Sparky costume for the little kids to hand out the stickers, et cetera. And I told the chief, your wife loves you more than I love my husband, because there's no way I'd be wearing that for you. And he said, she volunteered. So she did great. She wouldn't break the fourth wall. I was trying to talk to her, because she didn't want the kids to, know that the magic, she didn't want to ruin the magic of them. So I just want to say it was a beautiful ceremony. We had the honor guard out there, did the fire up, the flag up the pole, and all the architects and contractors were there as well, and it was just beautiful. And I want to admit, I want to put this on the record because I don't think a lot of people are aware of this. That station's useful life is supposed to be 75 years, and that station was bought and built with no interest or credit. Full cash paid for everything that we did. So you're not on the hook for interest payments if you live in the TM area. So I'm proud of that. And when you get a chance, go out there. It is beautiful. I would move in there, especially when you compare it to the dump that they used to be in over by Walmart, which was seriously embarrassing. So I just was proud to be there, Chief, and proud of you, and proud of your men and women in uniform, and most importantly, their lovely families that showed up and their cute kids. So it was a fun day. I appreciated it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Jung. And I really wish I had been there. I was fly fishing. Is that impressive? Me, fly fishing. I had to take my heels off. All right, so I see nothing else, no other comments? We will move on to number 5, the consent agenda, Mr. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 5 is consent items. I do need to point out a minor typographical error in the printed agenda. In item 5A, the attachment references draft minutes for 6/18, but they actually should be 6/19. So the agenda item is correct. There's just a minor typographical error on the attachment note.
Okay. Perfect. Commissioners, any comments, any questions? I see no public comment. Okay, I'm looking for a motion. I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as proposed, with the one minor change on the printed agenda that the chief brought up. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Are we going to be on the screen to affirm our votes? Okay, all right. So a motion passes 4-0 with Commissioner Hartung absent today. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 6 is the IAFF Local 2487 report.
Mr. Satterfield, welcome. Good to see you.
Good morning. Ian Satterfield, Local 2487, President, for the record. Is that better? All right. I have nothing to report this morning, so unless you guys have any questions for me.
Just welcome back. Know you've been out in Elko, and glad to have you back and
Yep.
safe, and all's going well, and good job on the fire out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Chief?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 7 is Executive Fire Officer Program Certificate Presentation to Captain Ian Satterfield. I wanted to present this to Captain Satterfield. I know, having gone through this program, and most chief officers within the country have gone through this program. It is rigorous academically to go through this and to finish. And so it's a very important milestone for Captain Satterfield. I want to let the public know you have to be a strong mind in order to get this done. So without further ado, I'd like to present National Fire Academy designation of Executive Fire Officer to Captain Ian Satterfield.
Congratulations. Let's give him a standing ovation here.
Is your family here? Why don't we come up and do a photograph? Yeah?
Oh, yeah, good idea.
I just want to see these little girls. They have sure grown from the last time I saw them. You did? Of course. It takes the whole, it's the whole village, right?
Madam Chair, if I may make one comment. I think this is Mr. Satterfield's, achievement of the fire officer program is something we've been looking for from this board for quite some time, and have asked Chief to continue to do and continue to support. It's this type of dedication that our firefighters have to continuing moving up in our ranks and truly building that succession plan that we've always asked for, and Mr. Satterfield is an exemplary representation of that. And so we just hope that many more of our officers will continue to do that and continue to move up in the program, because it's because of men and women just like you that will be out there that this department will continue to grow and continue to succeed. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lucy. I second that 100%. Mr. Satterfield, Chief Satterfield, or what is it, Lieutenant? Captain. I knew it was one of those things. Captain Satterfield is not just a great firefighter, but he's a great friend, and he's been extremely helpful to me as a commissioner, and I appreciate all the stuff he does. And so I'm very happy to see this, that he's been able to get through this school. Congratulations. Chief.
Madam Chair, item number 8 is promotional badge pinning of Battalion Chief Joe Shum.
All righty.
Joe, would you come up with your family? Here's an anecdote that you're going to find hard to believe, and it falls into the category of it's a small world. Joe Shum was actually my training officer in Colorado.
Oh, my
Left
goodness.
Colorado while I was still chief there. He went to North Las Vegas and was a firefighter with North Las Vegas for quite a while. And then a few years ago, he tested for us and was hired, and recently tested for the position of battalion chief, for which we had a vacancy, and finished at the top of that testing and evaluation process. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you our newest battalion chief, Chief Joe Shum, and introduce his family, Kate and kids, and pin his badge on by his wife, Kate.
Great. Congratulations and welcome. Glad to have you with us, and congratulations on the pinning. We are very fortunate to have such a great team of firefighters and officers, fire officers who are working with us, and I think TM is truly blessed. And I know our commissioners all feel the same way. Thank you, guys. Chief?
Madam Chair, item number 9 is the fire chief's report. Item 1 is a summary of the recent lightning storm and wildfire activity. I know we were extremely busy Saturday ago, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an assessment of just how busy we were. Just moments before the lightning hit, we were assisting City of Reno with a wildfire at the Stead Airport, but, excuse me. After the lightning hit, we had 7 reports of smoke. We had 5 confirmed wildfires. We had 3 reports of lightning striking objects, but no fire was found. 1 activated fire alarm, 1 report of a structure fire where no structure fire was found. Vehicle lights on the mountain mistaken for a fire. 1 illegal burn in the windy conditions, if you can believe that. And 2 motor vehicle accidents. So a total of 22 calls within a very short period of time. There was a period there where we had every single engine going to a call. The city of Sparks, I know, was busy with a lightning strike onto a structure, so they had a structure fire going. City of Reno had its own calls, and we were virtually tapped out of resources here in the region. In fact, we had no resources available even down in Minden, so we were the last line of defense. Again, thanks to our regional partners, it was well coordinated between all 3 departments. We were in constant communication as to who had resources and who didn't. But we got the job done, and very, very proud of our staff for working very, very hard that night. We didn't clear the Peavine fires until Forest Service took over. That was some 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. before the crews got to go home. So just wanted to let you know just how busy we were and how proud I am of our staff for doing such an exemplary job during that time.
Thank you, Chief. It was a very interesting night. I have little puppies, as you all know, and my little Chihuahua was underneath the bed. Just all you could see was her nose. She was not fond of that thunder at all. So it was a scary night, and I know you were stretched really thin, and I really appreciate all that all of you guys did. And thank you not only to you for being the first line of defense, but thank you to your families for letting you go and letting you take care of your community. We really appreciate that. Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Item 2 is the outcome of the July 18th meeting with the Verdi community. Fortunately, that meeting was not well attended, and some people said that they just didn't get the word. So we're going to reschedule it for August 15th at the Verdi Elementary School. We have a couple of things to report. One is we've located a site for a future volunteer station, but I believe that there's interest on the part of the Forest Service and REMSA to co-locate there as well. It's about 3 acres, it's flat, it's developable. So that piece, I think we have a good lead on another fixed facility in Verdi. We also discussed the importance of fuels reduction, and it's my intent to get the Verdi community organized to where they can develop a community wildfire protection plan. And once they develop that plan, then there are all kinds of grant opportunities to do fuels reduction and possibly other opportunities to develop the fire cisterns that we've talked about and other fire protection projects. So it's all going to start, I think, at a grassroots level. And it's my intent, again, to get the community organized, much like Arrow Creek has done, like Estates at Mount Rose and other communities that have developed their plans. Once you have that plan, then the light switch is on for grant opportunities. So there's, of course, lots of projects that need to be done in Verdi, particularly fuels management. Some of the fuels in Verdi are very, very old. Some of the sagebrush is 8 feet tall. There needs to be significant fuels reduction in Verdi. So if, Commissioner Herman, if you'd like to join us on the 15th, again at Verdi Elementary School, or any other commissioners who would like to attend, we'd love to have you there.
Thank you. Commissioner Lucy, did you have a comment on this?
I did, and and I have to tail on to what Chief just said in regards to the fuels management. This county supported Arrow Creek and their initiative to receive the grant for fuels reduction. I've seen the work that they've started up there within the Saddlehorn and Arrow Creek area, and it has been tremendous. I mean, they've had contractors in there cutting down the undergrowth on a lot of the pinyon trees and throughout the area. They've cleaned up a lot of the loose lying debris around and so the benefit is going to be tremendous for those areas. If for any reason, heaven forbid, that there is a wildfire event in those areas, they'll be better prepared. And a lot of those areas will help be able to have our fire stations be able to better respond and better prepared to fight any kind of event in those areas. This is a tremendous opportunity for many of our residents, and I will continue to urge that whatever we can do as this commission, as this body, to push this fuels reduction and these types of grants for our communities. I know Commissioner Jung had talked about addressing it from a regional standpoint. We need to continue to do that. It will be tremendously effective as we move forward for many, many of our communities.
Thank you, Commissioner Lucy. Chief, how long do you think it'll take to put this fuels management plan together for Verdi?
A CWPP can take about 3 months if we really get the ball rolling fast. Of course, staff will help them,
Yeah.
but it really needs to be a grassroots development of the plan.
And is there a group of people there who have already stepped up and have said they're interested in?
Well, no, because the meeting was so sparsely attended, really need to have 50, 60 people in attendance so we can have a committee of, say, 5 to 7.
And on a separate note, but sort of in the same topic, I know you've been looking at a fuels management lieutenant or whatever to come in. Where are you on that process?
We have developed the job spec. We need to have some discussions with 2487 as to the pay class, but I'd say we're about a month away from flying that position.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Item 3, the status of TM facility plan. Commissioner Lucy has asked for that plan some months ago. I just want to let you know that we're still in development, but it's kind of a moving target with respect to some of the stations and some of the things that we're looking at from a strategic standpoint. So I want to let you know that I haven't forgotten about it, but we're getting the ball rolling, not only with fire stations, but with admin and logistics and facility maintenance, which are other components of that plan. So I'd expect to have something to present to you in, say, September. So just wanted to put that forward to you. But I also wanted to mention on the very last page, following the report from Dyer, is this graphic that you'll find in your notebooks. You may recall that Tumwa had approached us about using a piece of ground behind the new Station 33. They wanted a 100 square foot area to put a new pump station. I've had their engineer look at this, and that kind of a size really chews into what we have left. And so my intent is to put that request on hold until we can study what we were going to use the rest of that parcel for.
Okay.
I know the sheriff may be interested in putting a substation there. We may be interested in putting some sort of an admin facility there or some other use. I don't know what Tumwa's timetable is, but nevertheless, I want to partner with them, but in order to say yes right now, I just don't have enough information on my other needs on the county side to be able to say yes.
Okay.
And then finally, we have a presentation and video of the TMFPD event trailer. This was requested by Commissioner Hartung a few months ago, and Captain Chris Black will narrate a video and talk a little bit about what this prop does for us. It's actually a very, very great tool for us. So we can get the video queued up, and Captain Black, I think it's going to play first, and then
Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District purchased the fire van trailer in October of 2017. Since then, Truckee Meadows fire personnel have recorded more than 300 hours of hands-on training. It has given crews the opportunity to train and learn new techniques on multiple firefighter skills this training prop has to offer, such as topside ventilation, door breach, bailing out of structures, confined space, and many more skills. One of the biggest benefits this training trailer has to offer to Truckee Meadows Fire is the ability to move from one location to another. It can be easily be towed to multiple locations, giving each crew the opportunity to train and perfect their firefighter skills. It eliminates the time away from their stations and ensures that the district is always maintaining coverage. Being able to train on topside ventilation, which is one of the most dangerous tasks firefighters have to perform during a structure fire, will ensure firefighter safety and prepare each firefighter to perform at their highest level to protect the people of Washoe County. Our mission, we are committed to excellence, service, and the protection of life and property in our community. Our vision is to be a progressive organization with highly trained and competent members that have adopted innovative service delivery systems and are focused on resolving future challenges. We are entrusted by the community to deliver the very best service with the resources provided.
Christopher Black, captain, currently assigned to the training division. I'm happy to answer questions. I'll tell you a little bit about that prop. That prop allows us to do roughly 15 to 20 different training exercises on it at any one time. It all depends on how your imagination is working that day. But it's extremely versatile. And one of the nicest things, like the video says, is that it's mobile. It's a trailer. And as you guys know, our department's geographical area is quite large. Sometimes one of the biggest things we struggle with in training is finding a way to get all of these units to a training center. So what this trailer allows us to do is to haul the training center to the stations where the guys can operate and train on it at their stations, or at least at their nearby station. So that's extremely beneficial for us. I guess the other nice thing is it was purchased locally. It's actually manufactured in Carson. And so that's really nice for us. And it is the first trailer in northern Nevada. So we're the first organization to have one actually in this area. The closest other one is in South Lake Tahoe. And so the manufacturer is really happy with that and is continuing to support us in our trailer to keep it up to top notch. So that way he has something locally as a representative that he can have other departments come and look at. So that's kind of a general overview. Happy to answer any questions.
Fascinating film. Questions? Commissioner Lucy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Briefly, I mean, just roughly, how much did we spend on a piece of equipment like that? Is that a tough one?
About $70,000.
$70,000.
And he gave us a pretty good deal. It should have cost a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's actually not about the dollar, because really for me it's $70,000, which seems like an expensive number, but if you look at our training facility that everybody has to travel to off of close to dispatch at the training is and Dandini, that how expensive that was to build in regards to quarters of millions of $500,000 or more to build those burn buildings and all the different things. When you guys can travel to and it makes it more mobile, I think really is the point I'm trying to get to, is that the ability for you to move that quickly, address many stations, even volunteers, and train them on different things like this. I think it's tremendous. What a great use of dollars, and what a great way to keep our staff up to speed on these types of trainings, because like you said, if you're not using it, you lose it. And so we constantly need to be keeping our men and women aware of those situations that arise out there. So congratulations, thank you. Very neat.
Yeah, thank you. And I forgot to mention it. Also, we parked it down at the last academy or recruit class that we just had come through. So it was there for the 12 to 14 weeks for the new recruits to train on as well, so.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
you being
you.
here.
Yep, no
Great
problem.
film. Thanks.
Madam Chair, may I go back to 9A.1? I forgot
Certainly.
an important point to mention in that recent lightning storm that we had, that we also stood up all of our volunteer agencies. Battalion Chief Chris Kettering let me know that the volunteers from Station 221 in Silver Lake did an exemplary job in holding the American Flat Fire to a road, and had that fire jumped that road, we would have had a much larger incident. So I heard volunteers mentioned by the public. I want to let you know that our volunteers are very active, do great work for us. And so they are a essential part of our response during lightning busts like we had Saturday ago.
Thank you, Chief. You know, I've had a couple of phone calls from some people who are concerned that we're talking about getting rid of volunteers, and I've made it clear that that has never been discussed or brought before this commission, or that we would limit volunteers to, you know, not being able to help us in any way they can help us. So I just want to make sure we get that on the record, that this commission, this board is not looking to do away with our volunteers. We're very proud of them and glad that they're with us. Okay.
Madam Chair, item 9B is the commission request for a dashboard. If there's anything that you would like to task me with, otherwise that's our current summary as presented.
Commissioners, any questions on items on the dashboard? Okay, Chief, let's move on.
Item 10 is presentation and possible approval for distribution of the 2018 report to the community. I presented this draft to the board a couple of months ago. The board had some additions it wanted to add, so this is what we would propose as the final draft. There are just some tweaks that staff would like to make. We discussed on how we would like to distribute this report. I believe Commissioner Lucy had suggested we mail it to all our constituents, or perhaps, I'm sorry, Commissioner Jung, Vice Chair Jung. The cost would be somewhere around, we think about $35,000 to mail it, plus or minus. Otherwise, we can find less costly ways to distribute it, but getting it in the hands of each individual constituent would require printing that kind of a volume. So if there's any additional things you'd like to see in the report, we'll finish up the edits and get it distributed and sent out.
Vice Chair Jung.
Yeah, I don't have a problem if you've come up with a different way you'd like to get these into the hands of people. You control your budget. You know what you can and cannot afford. But I think that every person that pays into this fire district should have one of these at their house, just so they see where their tax dollars are going. And however you creatively figure that, digitally, physically, United States Postal Service, drone, whatever it is that it takes to get it to the people that are paying. I just think it's such a beautiful summary of and proof of where people's tax dollars are going. So, and how well that we are fiduciarily responsible for this and how much we have grown as a fire district. So I completely agree with what you think is the best way to deploy that. I don't know your budget intimately or what you have for a budget for a line item for PR, et cetera, and I'm sure your PIO will have ideas how to get this out as well. So
Very good.
I'm completely open to what you would like to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Jung. Any other questions, comments? I see no public comment on this, so I'm looking for a motion. Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the 2018 Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District Community Report and authorize its distribution. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Please cast your vote on the screen. And then, are we not doing that on this? Yeah, I thought we were. Yeah. It's not coming up yet. Okay, so it appears the vote passed 4-0 with Commissioner Hartung absent. So if you'll record the vote. Thank you. Chief?
Madam Chair, item 11 is recommendation that the Board of Fire Commissioners ratify fiscal year 2018 reimbursements from the Washoe County, Nevada OPEB Trust Fund to Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District for the Cost of retiree health insurance premiums in the amount of $215,174.10. Cindy Vance, our fiscal officer, will be available if you have any questions. Otherwise, it's fairly
Okay.
administrative.
Commissioners, anybody have any questions on this issue for Cindy? No? Okay, then in that case, I see no public comment, so I'm looking for a motion. We have a motion and a second, and that's to ratify the fiscal year 2017 reimbursement to Washoe County on Nevada OPEB. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Hartung absent. Chief.
Item 12 is approve the annual services of 2 part-time administrative assistants and 1 part-time volunteer coordinator and 1 part-time on-call incident public information officer through Manpower Temporary Services in an amount not to exceed $132,000 using the state of Nevada contract number 3296 as allowed by NRS 332.195. The district uses part-time help through Manpower Services, which helps us budgetarily because we don't pay benefit load. They work only as we have the need for the additional help. So that is really the basis for the use of part-time people.
Good. Any questions? I see no public comment. Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion. I have a motion and a second to approve the annual services of all of the things that were just discussed by Chief. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Hartung absent. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 13 is not necessary. We do
Okay.
not need a closed session today. Moving on to item 14 is Commissioner Fire Chief's announcements, requests for information, topics for future agendas, and statements relating to items not on the agenda.
Anything else, Chief?
No, Madam Chair.
Commissioners, anything you want to add? Okay, we'll move on. Public comment, final public comment?
Oh, did you need me to announce that?
Chief,
I'm
yes.
Item 15 is public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the Board of Fire Commissioners' agenda. The district will also hear public comment during individual action items with comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments are to be made to the Board of Fire Commissioners as a whole.
Thank you, Chief. I have several people, or 2 people signed in. Ms. Catherine Snediger. Good morning again.
Good morning again. My name is Catherine Snediger. I'm a non-person, non-resident, unenfranchised, natural woman, human being. I understand that the chief and the county manager are cooking up some kind of a deal where you can't shoot during the fire season months. I think that's very funny, since our ability to burn the weeds that would cause the fire is prohibited. We can burn the green stuff in April, but when the stuff turns brown and you got 40 acres of brown stuff that you can't burn, well, that's the fire department and the county fire board setting up a fire. Lightning hits that stuff. You talk about cigarettes burning cheatgrass. When you got fields out there with those little plants that get the little yellow flowers, they have little branches and a stalk about as big around as your index finger, and you can't burn those because it's not burning season. So you're creating a fire hazard by not allowing us to burn those weeds off our properties. And I think it's ridiculous. And I think you don't have the authority to do that. Now, this shooting thing, I'm assuming it's going to be a civil matter. And I'm also presuming it's only going to be on county property. Because, like for my property, for example, none of you have the right to come out onto my property and tell me I can't shoot. I can't target practice. And I don't know what lands you're going to prohibit people from going on to shoot, because most of the lands are BLM and you don't have authority over there. you have no jurisdiction. So this is going to be quite amusing to see how this little backdoor gun grab is going to work out. Because after you make everybody go to the shooting range, which the one on Pyramid Highway is very unsafe, you're just going to say, can't shoot at all. Not going to happen. It's a constitutional matter. There's 4 little words: shall not be infringed. Maybe if we had volunteer firefighters out there that could do more than just deliver water to the firemen that are out there, we might have a better chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ms. Vicki Maltman. Good morning again.
Good morning again, Commissioners and Fire Chief. First of all, I'd like to start off by letting you know that there is no comma and no stopping between the words "one nation under God." Check it out. If you're going to say the pledge, please say it properly. I have a real problem with anyone wanting to target one section of our community. To my understanding, the last several fires, outside of the natural fires that have been started by the lightning, have been started by construction vehicles. If you're going to go after people that like to shoot their guns, and they need to do it responsibly, I understand that fully. However, you also need to go after the construction people that are starting fires that require taxpayer dollars to go into that. Now, hopefully, we are repaid by those construction companies that have caused fires, albeit not intentional. I understand they don't intentionally go out there to do that, but that has been the case. It also has been the case that vehicles driving just into somebody's field or onto their property through the catalytic converters. So are we going to outlaw catalytic converters? I just feel that there's more responsible ways of keeping our community safe, secure, and healthy than to pick on one type of people, albeit gun owners. Maybe we just need to have classes. Maybe we need to make people more aware that they need to have fire extinguishers. And while I don't like them shooting in areas they shouldn't be, I live in Sun Valley, they shoot in my backyard, so I don't, but other people do. So I hope you will look at this in a different light and explore all of the things that could be done and the way taxpayers' money could be spent. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maltman. Seeing no more public comment, we will close public comment, and that puts us in adjournment.